Our project is projectile motion, measurements of maximum height and range. So a projectile motion is an object upon which the only force is gravity. So gravity acts to influence the vertical motion of the projectile, causing a vertical acceleration. So the horizontal motion of the projectile is the result of the tendency of any object in motion. They only remain in motion at constant velocity. So due to the absence of horizontal forces, a projectile remains in motion with a constant horizontal velocity. That horizontal forces are not required to keep a projectile moving horizontally. The only force acting upon the projectile motion is gravity. Projectile motion for our purposes is the motion of an object that has been launched and then is the subject to only the force of gravity and the force of air friction. The Newtonian mechanics principles that you have been studying allow you to predict this type of motion. So the purpose of this experiment is to determine whether the time of flight of a ball launched horizontally off the table varies at the initial velocity is varied. In this experiment, we will be needing meter sticks, ping pong ball, carbon paper, a bond paper, and elastic. So in our first trial, as we can see, the ball reaches its maximum height at 28 cm and the measured angle is 44 degrees. To check the distance, we need to see the mark of the ball and measure it using meter stick. In our second trial, as we can see, the ball reaches its maximum height, which 25 cm, and its angled measure is 55. To measure the distance, we look for the mark where the ping pong ball bounced and use meter stick to measure it. In our third attempt, as we can see, the ball reaches its maximum height, which is 35 centimeters, and the measured angle is 50 degrees. So again, measuring the distance wherein the ball bounced and marked using the carbon paper.